well, in every song it depends on the beat. You know what I'm saying? It really depends on the
That's the
beat.
first thing.
Yeah. And you said something else. What was the second thing? Because that's a personal preference. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
versus the beat. And the
Yeah.
beat, well, I think personal preference might be like if it's the bass that grabs you, if it's the guitar that grabs you. But at the end of the day, universally, we can all agree to a dope beat. At least 80% of the people can be like, that shit's fly. That shit's whack. You know what I mean? You can just sell, because it ain't even an opinion. It's like an emotional thing. You know what I mean? So if somebody likes hip
Exactly.
hop, if somebody likes hip hop, it's hard to deny, like, let's think of like, what's that Drake talk? Still Dre? Like that track right there? How many people
Yeah.
can say that's just whack? Like that when that piano hits, most people are feeling it. You know what I mean?
But like
After that,
you said, like when it comes to skipping the album, because you said
hmm
I've done that with a lot of albums too, and it's like some of them could be like like people that actually like that I fuck with their music and shit. But it really depends on the beat. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a personal preference. You know what I'm saying? But not necessarily saying that the music sucks. You know that the artist sucks. It's just the beat. It's a very important part in making an album. At least if you're making an album. You know what I'm saying? You have to have beats that captivate. You know what I'm saying? Because
yeah,
like you could throw like crazy bars on a track. You know what I'm saying? But if that beat like it's not, I don't know, like the audience doesn't feel it, they're gonna skip through that track no matter how dope you want on that track. You know what I'm saying? That's just that's the way I see it. You feel me?
yeah, that's true. That's true. You know, after that, to me, I think the chorus is the next thing.
The chorus, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
the chorus.
the
If you
chorus
got
is
an
the
annoying
next thing.
chorus, that's it. It's a rap, right? It's like it's a rap for that song. You just move on to the next song. I actually did that recently with an album I was listening to, and like I was fucking with the music video. You know what I'm saying? So then I just wanted to go see the album. You know what I'm saying? Because like it really captivated my attention. So then but like I said, like like I went to go check out the album, and like I was expecting more from the album, because like it's the music video that brought you to the album. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely want to work on a music video myself. Because like I feel like that's like a very smooth rollout. For you to present your music. You know what I'm saying? But you could have a dope ass video. You know what I'm saying, you could have like dope music, but like if you're working on an album, I feel like you have to be really, attentive uh, to the beats that you're gonna rap on, you know,
Yeah.
or like just how do you feel about that?
Well, I would say, hold on. I would add one more thing to that shit. I would say, your beats aren't just that your beats are dope. Your beats also, they gotta come with your community or your background. You know what I mean? Like there's that New York sound. Like obviously decades change, but just think of like New York in '94. There was a
Yeah,
certain sound to that. Think of LA in '94. There was a certain sound to that. So the artists that came out with that, obviously they can rap on whatever the fuck they want to rap on. But
yeah,
because that beat had that sound, it was like, oh, I feel Cali even before Homeboy says, know, Compton or whatever the fuck, Like you can
yeah,
hear it in the music, like you can feel the streets or wherever they're from in the music. You know what I mean? And that goes for all music. I mean, we talking hip hop, but you know what I mean? If I hear bachata that was straight up from Dominican Republic, I can feel the island from there. Versus like bachata
yeah,
nowadays that comes from like Spain or New York City.
yeah,
It has a different, like the sound has the neighborhood. You know what I mean?
exactly. And it come that's where that comes in. It captivates you, makes you wanna keep listening. You know, but you said something else that it was beats, it was chorus, and there was something else that you said.
I would say the verse then comes in. You know what I mean? The verse. And that's
Okay.
I think that's the third, I would say, because most people, and I can put myself included in this. If the beat's fire, the chorus is fire, I can put up with whack lyrics. I can put up with whack lyrics. I could, but I
Yeah,
can't do it the other way around. A
yeah.
whack beat over dope verses, that's really hard. That's really hard.
It's a
It's
tough
hard, man.
one. It's a
Yeah.
tough one. Yeah.
Now, obviously the song will get boring quicker if the verse is whack,
Yeah.
but I'll probably listen through it, especially if the verse and the beat are hitting. I meant the verse, the chorus and the beat are hitting. But with verse,
Yeah,
it ain't just like what you writing. It's also like how your delivery hits. You feel
that,
me?
yeah, that makes sense. It really
Yeah,
does make
verse
sense.
has to do with like lyrics, delivery, your tone of your voice, how you hit the cadences, all that shit.
No, yeah, for sure. Everything really plays a part, you know what I'm saying? And if something is out of sync, then everything just falls apart. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely,
And
definitely.
we were talking about how long would you consider a song is a decent amount of time for a song. You know what I'm saying? Because back in the '90s, it was like 4 minute song. 4 minute songs were all right. Because like there was dope bars or whatever. And it was tolerable. It was more tolerable. But I feel like nowadays, you said that maybe recently ago. You said that the songs they've become shorter, right? Would you say?
Yeah,
So what
yeah,
what do you
they
think
are.
about that? You think
We're competing for attention span. I think that's like the number one currency.
okay,
So,
yeah, yeah,
it's like it's not that you can't make a dope ass 4 or 5 minute song, but it gets harder. Like especially if it's the same tone, like the verse has the same flow, the chorus has the same flow, unless you're doing something new. But I would imagine the more effort and time and money comes into making that 5 minute song versus you can make 2 to 3 minute songs with that same amount of time and energy spent. So it's better to just make like a really tight 2 to 3 minute track, and before it gets repetitive, people will tune in and maybe even hit repeat if they really like it, or move on to the
yeah,
next track that's 2 to 3 minutes and still keeps them interested. You
right.
know?
Because yeah, like a 3 minute track, I think yeah, like at that point, the beat is already repetitive at that point, right?
Yeah.
Like for your ear at least, it's like I don't know, but it's also a personal preference because maybe the track could be so dope that you could actually tolerate a full 3 minute song or 3 minute 30, whatever it may be.
Yeah. No, if the track is fire, people will listen all the way through. You know what I mean? But
Yeah,
all I'm saying is it gets harder. Like the more the time passes by, the more repetitive your track is gonna be. So
right.
like what I would say is if the beat captures them, if the chorus keeps them, after two choruses, that third one usually wraps it up. Usually. But
Right.
in order to stretch it out, that's where the verses have to be so fire, or the delivery has to be so fire, or maybe you're telling a story that keeps people listening to finish the story that you can go further. You know what I mean?
Do,
Like,
do you do you think there's a certain that the certain structure has to be kept in a song when making a song, or do you think that that's kind of changed with hip hop? Would you say?
I think things are changing. Where they're going, I can't fucking tell you. But I'm gonna tell you this. This is the first year where I think a hip hop song is not in the top number one. I think it was like for like the last 20, 30 years, hip hop has been at the top of the charts. Then this is the
It's true.
first year where it's not. So I think
Yeah, yeah.
the hip hop structure, for whatever reason, like I don't think there's whack artists now, or maybe this music year. Like I think there's always dope shit coming out. But
Right,
I
right,
think
right.
with the times, people are like, all right, like I said, you're competing with. All right, I said this earlier. When you make a fucking album now, because music is so accessible, you're not competing or for the attention of like your contemporaries. You're also competing for the attention of the shit that came before you. Know what I mean? So if you make an album,
Yeah, because
how are you
you're
gonna get
competing with
somebody to listen to
legends,
you? Exactly.
right?
How are you gonna get somebody to listen to you versus Nas's catalog versus Jay-Z, Pac? You know what
Nah,
I mean? Like
nah.
that's you're competing with them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's a big competition, bro. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's you're competing with
But you
legends at that
but
point.
you but,
You know?
but but you have to think of it that way. You have to be like, I have to make my shit as good as theirs. And that doesn't necessarily mean that, don't do it if you can't. What can I put it?
I
You should have it in
feel
your mindset that my shit has to be better than them. Like I have to put in the effort to make my music better than them. That should be your
right.
mindset. That should be your mindset. Otherwise, you're you're, you're going. You don't realize how difficult it is to get somebody's attention if you're ignoring the fact that that's what they're listening to, or that's what they could be listening to, rather than you.
Yeah, but I feel like there's a very small percentage of people in Miami that listen to hip hop right now. say.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
And,
Okay.
I think it's very hard to even make it in hip hop in Miami, I would say, because Miami's based on, like bachata and like that, and Bad Bunny and all
Mhm.
that shit, club music. So like for you to make a name in hip hop in Miami it's a very small percent, like a very
Okay.
small
I'll give you
percent,
one name.
you know?
I'll give you one name, one hip hop name that knows how to do that Latin shit, and he's like one of the biggest stars ever. You already know who I'm talking
Oh,
about. Pitbull.
yeah, yeah, but
Pitbull.
he's international. He made it out of Miami, but he's international.
Yeah,
It's funny
but
because
he's still more hip hop than anything else, in my opinion. Even though he mixes in pop, he mixes in reggaeton.
yeah.
At the forefront, he's rapping. You feel me?
Well,
And his shit's
before that whole pop shit, Pitbull was a hip hop artist, but he
yeah,
was a reggaeton artist.
yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? So
yeah.
yeah,
He was like one of the first to